I would say the zombies in this universe are even scarier than the ones
Really?
in Walking Dead.
Well,
I would say that. I don't know if it's true.
I did voice a lot of our zombies in The Walking Dead,
Yeah,
so
a lot of there's a fair amount of studio voices that did the zombies.
Yep.
You can still, I can still hear it sometimes when I play. Like, I know that guy.
The funny thing is that the stuff that I ended up doing was purely just a throw up sound, actually, that I used to do to unfortunately get out of going to school. At times.
Wow!
Kids, stay in school. Don't be like me.
You had a bit. You had a routine.
Well, because I would get a glass of water. I'd go into the bathroom and I'm like, Mom, I'm not feeling too well.
Wow.
And then I would put once again, kids, don't do this. But I would pour the water into the toilet and
wow.
And that's kind of so when they were like we need a zombie sound, so I would just lengthen it out so it just came out and
It's giving me the willies.
yeah, well, so
you should have been a professional wrestler. That's quite a work you got there. Just the whole,
professional wrestler.
yeah, I mean, you got the whole gag going.
Here comes the throw-upper.
Exactly. Oh, that would. I mean, just imagine. I think in the world of professional wrestling, where original gags are hard to come by.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to a city near you, baby.
It seems to me that a professional wrestler, perhaps if Ryan was willing to, invest perhaps in a, and he can do what he wants.
I'm gonna be masked up, and those fools better be running for their lives.
So I think any wrestler, no matter how strong and powerful he or she was, would run screaming from someone who was going to barf all over them at any moment.
Because I'm gonna bomb all over them.
Like Triple H or The Rock is like just about to pound you, and you just you freak him out when he thinks that you're about to vomit all over him. I mean, God, that's gold.
Oh,
Please add in the comments. I'm not the hugest professional wrestling fan, but if one of the professional wrestlers uses vomiting as their work, I guess is sometimes what they call it, their work, let him know in the comment section.
the vomiter.
The vomiter.
Yes.
Ah, that's good.
I'm gonna take you down because I'm the vomiter.
Yeah. And they just show him. When he preps, he's just drinking little like one serving spoiled dairy creamer, just doing them like shots.
Oh.
Just to prep the stomach with little
is-
spoonfuls of cottage cheese, just to really drive it home.
One for Olivia.
I am the absolute. I will admit, I'm the biggest baby and the worst when it comes to anything dealing with, like, actually vomiting.
Oh yeah,
like,
it's easy.
Sorry.
Everybody, it's easy to sit here and joke about vomiting, but when you're vomiting or near vomit, it's no joke. It's gross.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
You don't want to do it. You don't want to be around it.
It's something your body's forcing you to do, and you're like, body, stop.
So
no.
everybody just eat foods that won't make you sick.
And stop hoarding.
Yeah. Eat cookies. Look at these guys are eating cookies.
Just eat.
I think
cookies.
I think we didn't want to bury the lead there, but you did just give Lucas a cookie, which was very symbolic of. Axel obviously wasn't cool with that.
No.
But you're making a statement that you're kind of accepting Lucas into the fold. I think in that moment. That's an opportunity we give the player to really kind of tell their story. What's your relationship going to be going forward with Lucas? Are you going to be friends?
Yeah.
And what do you have to say about that?
So I'm kind of curious when speaking of that, including now Lucas into the gang. What was behind? I guess the one thing I didn't really understand and glom onto too much was him being angry at the sense of giving your cookie and like why he is like this.
Oh well, this is really an effort to illustrate that Axel's still pretty upset about Petra getting left behind, and
What makes you think that?
and for me, I think he kind of blames Lucas a little bit, and it's really hard to. It's one of those classic things, you know. It's sort of, you know, you lost a friend,
Yeah.
and now here's this guy you're not so sure about, and Axel's just the guy who's like, look, you're like, I'm used to my friends,
Yeah.
and I don't know you, and I don't want to know you. Like,
Yeah.
you're just a you know, a complication in my life. I think Axel's someone who, for being a griefer, is actually sort of a, you know, he's a set in his ways. He's used to, you know, he probably has the same breakfast every morning, you know, a big bowl of TNT. And you know, he's
just eats dynamite.
Yeah, he's a creature of habit, routine. He wants his friends around, and Lucas represents change. You know, a change of circumstance, and that's, you know, that's kind of what this episode is that these characters all have a rhythm. They all have a certain way of being around each other.
Yeah.
And the Witherstorm has kind of thrown all of that into chaos. And
Gotcha.
Axel is kind of just being a baby right now. He's being he's throwing a tantrum. He's frustrated and he's taking it out on Lucas. And
he's taking it out on the new guy.
And Jesse's kind of put in the position of, you know, Lucas is being reasonable, but he's the new friend.
It's what Axel wants.
Axel is being unreasonable, but Axel's one of your closest friends, and so it's one of those classic problems of, do I support my closer friend, who I really think is being somewhat unreasonable, or do I?
He's being a jerk. Let's just say it.
Yes, or do I support the person I don't know as well? Because I know that's the right thing to do.
Yeah,
you know? And you obviously leaned in that direction because look, he's still sitting there.
Well, I will admit I try and play both in life and in games. I guess the person that tries to find that middle ground for everybody to be on.
Well, it's in my experience, most players are trying to be, you know, the best version of the character that they can be.
Yeah.
They don't go out of their way.
Well,
I mean,
they do that first, and then they go back and play our games and be like, "Let's be the jerk."
Yeah, they'll test. Yeah, but I mean, and that's oftentimes why we try not to just make it a light side, dark side kind of playthrough, because we know one of them is just sort of real mustache twirly. Mustache twirly is an expression you'll hear all the time around here. Like that's usually when that's too mustache twirly.
Ah, okay.
Which means it's just easy. It's easy to take sides against someone who's twirling a mustache
and tying damsels to
railroad. Poor Lucas is tied to the railroad tracks. Who wouldn't rescue Lucas?
Would he be saved? Find out next time.
That jacket is just the best.
You really want a leather jacket.
I want a leather jacket with a big ocelot.
If there's anyone out there that is into leather crafting and whatnot, send Stephen McManus here an ocelot leather jacket. He'll wear it all the time.
Size extra large.
There you go.
I'm sure it's been done. I mean, I can't imagine it hasn't been.
I'm sure it's on Etsy somewhere.
Yeah. There's actually a.
This has to be the place.
I can't remember now, and didn't want to digress, but there's a leather jacket with some animal embroidery on it on an album cover somewhere that I think I was the one who suggested that they have a leather jacket with some cool animal embroidered on it. And that's how it became.
So guys, you heard it here, folks. He is the originator of this. We have to give the originator an actual leather jacket.
I think everything cool in the game
was
originally my idea.
Okay, all right.
You know.
So if you have any things that you're like, awesome, just go ahead in the comments and just thank Stephen over and over and over. If you have anything you don't like, basically just fill in name here and just complain. There you go.
My secret is that every time we're in a creative meeting, I say things like, could we do that, but make it cool? And everyone just kind of looks down and goes like, yeah, we can probably do that. Most ideas, or I should say most people come into the ideation process thinking it's okay for an idea to just be warm or mild or lame. And the important people in the room really are those that are willing to say, no, lame won't do. Make it cool. And then the other person goes and makes it cool. And all anyone remembers is the guy who was willing to take the stand and say, lame won't do. Make it cool. And those are the real difference makers and the ones that will be remembered in Valhalla. Oh.
No,
Yeah.
Ruben.
Ruben's always getting in.
Damn
these
it.
are the scam.
Ruben. Damn it, short round.
Oh, come on.
This is totally Indiana Jones once again.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
This whole area is.
Yeah.
You know, we've entered into the land of. And the nice thing is that it really fits. I mean,
Yeah.
There's a, you know, Minecraft gives us so many tools to create that feel.
You know, if it was me personally, I would just wait it out and be like, they have to run out of arrows at some point in time.
Well,
Crafting table.
that's kind of where we say we're going to bend the rules of Minecraft so we can create.
An infinity number of arrows.
I will say, one of the things that we try to do is to make sure
See what we've got to
that,
work with.
you know, sometimes we'll just sort of move past it because we have a story to tell.
Yeah.
But we really try to avoid situations where the player might have something in their inventory
Uh-huh.
Flint and
that they could just dig their way out. And that's
Yeah.
the thing in Minecraft. If you're in a room that you don't want to be in,
Yeah.
you can usually dig your way out.
Yeah.
You know, and in a lot of cases, we're dealing with more traditional adventure game design, and we want you to puzzle your way out of something, or we
Yeah.
want you to, you know, fight your way out of something, and you know, so it's a constant vigilance to make sure that the player doesn't have anything in their inventory. Like, you won't get a lot of diamond pickaxes
Yeah.
just given to you in our games.
Well, I will say the one thing I also really enjoy about the Minecraft series, more so than some of our previous series, is in certain ways it seems like we have kind of walked away a little bit from more of the puzzly moments, and rightfully so. If you look at some of the old school point-and-click adventure games, it could get downright frustrating sometimes the way you'd get stuck. But it seems with Minecraft, it almost lends itself to being a game aspect, to once again going back to those tried and true roots of having more puzzly moments.
It absolutely does, and I will say, you know, the Minecraft universe,
let's
it's also narrative setup
Yeah.
that can be very tricky, because when you're in a game like Walking Dead or Guardians,
The Order of the Pig's Luck.
what you generally have to do is create a situation where a puzzle needs solving in a room where no one ever intended puzzles to
Yeah.
exist.
Yeah.
It's, you're creating problems that you have to solve with inventory and puzzles, and so, you know, if you're in Walking Dead and you're at a gas station or an abandoned junkyard or something like that, then you're using real world objects that have to make sense. And it can be difficult
Yeah.
to create credible puzzles that don't feel like, oh, you're just kind of wasting my time with this right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Minecraft is a world designed to have a lot of interactive moments. Inventory is a huge part
Oh,
of
yeah.
the world. And it's not implausible that someone like, for example, Ivor,
Yeah.
wouldn't just build a room where he threw in a bunch of puzzles and you had to solve them in order to get through. It's
Yeah.
not breaking any kind of logical.
It's not just putting things in there to make filler for a game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're always super sensitive about not wanting to pull the player out of the story with the gameplay.
There has been many a times, I feel like, also in previous games, previous seasons, that, you know, originally the game was much longer, but we even felt, we're like, okay, this is just, we're putting this in here just to help pad the time, and it's not pushing things along necessarily, and let's just take it out. And so that's what I really do kind of appreciate this game, is that we get to have some more of those kind of puzzly moments, but it fits. It doesn't feel like we're padding the time or anything like that.
Yeah, and you know, it's a taste change. I mean, we definitely come from a tradition where there's a tolerance for,
The Petra is still out there.
you know, walking around and taking time and things being difficult. You
Yeah.
know,
Jesse's right.
it-
We need to focus on what we
it's
came
a
here to.
Where do these stairs go?
it's a relatively radical thought that we don't want to punish the player
Yeah.
for
Only one
doing
way to
trial and
find
error
out.
moments. But there's a time in the tradition of adventure games where punishing the player was the whole point.
Yeah.
If you're not punishing the player, you're not doing your job as a designer.
You know, like, the dig.
Well, I can't believe the dig came up twice here.
Well,
That's
the
amazing.
funny thing is two of my favorite point-and-click adventure games that actually brought me to where I am today is actually The Dig, that third time reference, and Full Throttle.
Great games.
And if you listen closely, that is the end of my career.